issues, and we're gonna try and voice to them how we think they need to be operating. Is that?
And I want to add that it was Ann Roll who came up with the name People's Water Board.
Oh, is it? I remember that.
At that meeting. I remember you were sitting
Really?
at the end and you were like, the People's Water Board. And we were all like, yes, the People's Water Board.
Let's see, who should I get to play me in the film?
I know she did that. I wasn't there, but I know she did that one. She was hollering that one all over every damn where. Every time we had a meeting, it was this water board. Didn't make any difference what type of meeting it was.
How rude.
I know that. I know that happened.
So, how long after that meeting did you actually start? What did you form the water board? How did it form?
It was
quick.
Yeah, I think the next month what we did is we, for the next couple of weeks after that meeting, we had formed like an invitation that we sent out to other groups, inviting them to join us, that we had this neat idea of having our own People's Water Board, and that we set a date for all of us to meet to kind of look at, okay, if we're forming this coalition of all these groups, what are our goals? How how are we going to come together? And so what happened then is we met and we spent a full day, wasn't it?
Yeah, we spent a long time
Yeah.
doing our mission statement and our
Right,
goals.
right.
And all of that is on the display over there, that we have our mission and then the goals. And what came out of that was really that, we have 3 very strong areas that we're all working on and advocating for change, really, on those issues. And that's where the water affordability, water quality, and then making sure that water is kept as a public good.
And did it end up working in that way as a shadow? You met just before the actual water board met, and had your meetings, and would you then go to their meetings?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, it's actually a funny story. When the first time that we went as the coalition to the municipal water board meeting, it just so happened that on their agenda for that day, we just picked it. I don't know, because we felt we were ready, and we we had worked out our statements and everything, and that day they were awarding contracts. And these are a couple of really huge contracts, and they were awarding them both to the same company. So unbeknownst to us, when we get there, we didn't really know, because there's not much. You don't get an agenda ahead of time. Of course, all the contractors knew that this was happening. So when we get there, the room is packed, and
With
it's not a
suits,
big
as we call it.
Just all the suits were there, and. So the public comment line was like really long. So that's at the beginning of the meeting, because they were all up in an uproar because they weren't the ones picked for the money. So, but it was kind of funny, because what had happened also was a local radio personality, has a talk show, had gotten wind of this contract, and she had announced it on her show. And she told people to come on down. So there were other, citizens in the audience besides the business people. And so it was packed. I mean, they had to open the door. It's a tiny little room anyway. There's only seats for like 18 people, because they got these gigantic tables in there. But
the water board's got plenty of room, and then the public is like
squished in this little place. So they had to open the doors, and people were sitting like in the elevator, where the elevators
in the lobby,
in the lobby area. And
But
anyway,
Granny had to yell and scream and holler to get them to open it up. Remember that whole story? Like they were just like telling people to get out of the room, but they weren't opening it up. And then this grandmother who had been drawn down by Mildred Gaddis, the radio personality, like had to yell, scream, and holler. And then they finally opened it up and had people sit out there. Yeah, that's what Charity said. She was like, sometimes you just need those grannies.
yeah, so we got a lot of public support when we made our statements, to the water board. So it was kind of like a fun introduction.
It was really nicely orchestrated, because we had, we have commissioners on our water board, 2 that focus on access and affordability, 2 that focus on protection and conservation, and 2 that focus on privatization. And then we have another 3 who are what we call general commissioners, who focus on kind of issues that tie together and things like research and things like that. So we had sort of a whole, everybody kind of got into line at the same time. We had a beautiful opening statement, and then, you know, people who focused, you know, on, gave the list of demands, you know, presented each one of our demands, and then a closing statement. So it was really quite impressive, and we you know, requested over and over again a written response from the Board of Water Commissioners within 30 days, which we didn't receive until about 3 months later.
February. We did this in
4 months later.
November,
Yeah.
and we finally got comments in February, and they only gave the comments to one person when all of us had put our contact information on our
Yeah.
comments and hadn't received anything.
And did they